Come and knock on my door with a one in the room. When the band walks in, when the waves have been up on any tune. Hey, what is going on, YouTube? Now, you guys have been asking me to cover this topic, and we are going to have a discussion on it today. I'm a little bit confused when it comes to this, so it's going to be an open discussion, or relatively open, because I'm recording this video and then putting it in. So I want to hear you guys discuss this in a very positive and very informative way without getting fucking angry about what you think when it comes to the topic of Aziz Ansari. Now, just to give you guys a quick recap of who Aziz Ansari is, he is a highly acclaimed writer, actor, a lot of fucking things. I'm not. Successful person. But the controversy around him stems from a lady who remains anonymous, who wanted to talk about Aziz Ansari and the whole Me Too movement, about how he sexually harassed or assaulted her. Just to give you guys a short clip notes of what happens, and remember, read the articles yourself and do your own research. She met Aziz Ansari, was very interested in him, was thrilled by the fact that he was Aziz Ansari, went to go see him. He kind of like brushed her off, I guess, but later on they started talking again during the night, shared some drinks, might have had some food, went over to his place, and they basically got it on. He basically performed oral sex on her with her consent. She then performed oral sex on him with her consent as well. But throughout the night, I guess she was giving a lot of like non-verbal cues that she felt uncomfortable. But it didn't really change how things went down, and still they had sex. Mind you, throughout this whole thing, she does admit that she gave him consent. He was not holding her there. He did not threaten her. He didn't force anything upon her or anything like that. But afterwards, she left and she conversed with him through text that she felt very uncomfortable, and she felt that he took advantage of her. To that, he did reply that he was confused and he didn't know that's how she felt, and he apologized. This is what I took away from what she wrote. When it comes to public opinion, it doesn't seem that people are split when it comes to the situation, right? From what I've read, it seems that 80% are kind of on like Aziz Ansari's side, saying that they don't really understand what she's talking about, and quote unquote, she's tripping. Tripping like I'm a fucking 70-year-old man. She's tripping. But the other 20% empathizes with her, and they say that, you know what? I kind of been in that situation too, where these guys don't understand nonverbal cues, and they kind of take advantage of the fact that we can't say no. Now, I don't really have a bias when it comes to this, but there are a few things that I do want to discuss, and I could be wrong. I don't know. Somebody could probably change my mind, and that's why I leave this open for discussion in the comments. Now, for me, the things that are clear about every single article when it comes to this topic is how things went down. She was invited over. She said yes. He performed oral sex on her. She didn't say no. She didn't object to it. She didn't push his head away, and she accepted it. Things got a little weird. She went into the bathroom to kind of shake it off. She didn't feel right about it. She told him that. Things cooled down. He made a move again. I think for me, and this is not me saying this as a guy, I don't want to take away something called personal responsibility. Now, this doesn't mean that Aziz Ansari's approach to how he kind of like expected certain things from her was a little bit odd and just weird and maybe a little gross too. And now, before you go ahead and jump down my fucking throat, listen to what I'm saying. I always think about these type of situations about personal responsibility because I hold myself to that same standard. There was always the option of no, I don't want to, I don't feel comfortable, and I can leave this situation at any given time that I want. Some people object to this, but you can't just glaze over it like it's nothing. The option of no and the option of I am a woman, I am in control of my own body and my own domain, and if I said to him, no, I don't want this, I could leave, that option was on the fucking table. And the reason why I bring up personal responsibility, just to wrap back to it, is basically because of this. I dislike when people talk about women empowerment and being a feminist, and they talk about personal responsibility, but they want to pick and choose when it's right for them. When it comes to women empowerment and being in control of what's going on, it's like that no means no, yes means yes. Say clearly what you want. I am in control of my own domain. I completely 100% agree. But when it comes to this case, there's this rhetoric of I believe in women and their choices and their empowerment and personal responsibility, but I didn't really have control of this situation because Aziz Ansari was there and I didn't know what to do. And that really doesn't fly with me. How can you say that you want personal responsibility, that you want to take control of your own destiny, but when something doesn't go favorably for you and you regret your actions later, that was, as you said, it was consensual, then you say, I don't have control of my own destiny. And I find that just infuriating. The whole Me Too movement is very important, and I'm in full support of it because we all realize that in Hollywood, whether you guys are a part of it or not, there is this huge power struggle, and there's a lot of powerful people out there that will use that power to take advantage of people, specifically women. It's not hearsay anymore, it's fact. People are coming out with this and it should be fucking heard. But the issue that I have are certain people that want to be a part of this Me Too movement, but they don't really belong in it, because it's like, hey, if you used your sexuality to get what you wanted and you kind of did your way all the way to the top, you gained the whole world, but then you go, you know what? This person took advantage of me. You're not a part of the fucking Me Too movement. You used your sexuality to get what you wanted, and then you benefited from it, and now you want to be a part of these women who were taken advantage of, that were sexually assaulted. You cannot put yourself in that fucking category. Those women are traumatized. They were put in compromising situations when it came to their fucking career, and then you want to talk about you want to be a part of Me Too when you sucked your dick all the way to the fucking top? No, that doesn't work, and you're making a mockery of that social movement. That's very fucking important right now. Just to clarify, I am not saying that she is a part of this movement, but what I am saying is that we should be conscious about the stories that we are telling. Is Aziz Ansari a fucking rapist? In my personal opinion, absolutely fucking not. Is it a bad date? Yes, it was. Should he have picked up on these nonverbal cues? Probably, but to his credit, they did have a conversation after about what happened. He apologized and he said he didn't know that's how he felt. I mean, come on, we have to give credit to that. And just to add to this topic, I think this is also a huge reflection about how important like sexual education is. Beyond just learning like body parts, but just to understand appropriate like sexual cues and how people should feel about their sexuality. Sexual education should also be about this topic right here, about how to conduct yourself around somebody else and to understand when somebody is comfortable with having sex or not. Just to give you guys a personal story, like sex wasn't really talked about in my house, and the only version of like sexual talk that I had was probably from a bunch of dudes that were just making a bunch of fucking dick jokes and talking about fucking women. And in case you haven't picked up, that's not really a good form of fucking sexual education. So when it came to my very first girlfriend and when we had sex, I was absolutely terrible at it. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I had no idea what that speed bag was above the vagina. And on top of me not knowing what the fuck I was doing, she didn't know what the fuck she was doing as well. It was a terrible experience for both of us. With my very first girlfriend, I'll openly admit I didn't understand like nonverbal cues, and it was because she wasn't comfortable with her sexuality. I wasn't comfortable with my sexuality, so I didn't know how to make her feel comfortable. So it was just two kids who didn't know what the fuck was going on. It was by far probably the worst situation I could have ever been in. We would be in weird situations that I reflect on now, where she would be in the fucking mood, I wouldn't know. I would be in the mood, she wouldn't fucking know. And it was just so confusing because both of us just didn't know how to talk about it. We didn't converse about it properly. Not until the next girl that I got sexually active with, we actually had conversations about what the fuck was going on. And by the way, just to put it out there, this bitch was fucking brutal as hell. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Why don't you try this? What the fuck were you fucking? Were you fucking a sandbag, bitch? I have feelings. But I learned a lot from her because she taught me a lot about, number one, women's body parts. Number two, how to openly communicate with somebody, tell them what you like and dislike, and when yes means yes and when no means no, and to clearly state it. With my first girlfriend, it was so fucking difficult. I had to figure it out myself, and every time I got it wrong, I was like, I don't know what the fuck you want. But I was too shy to actually tell her like, hey, can you tell me yes and no clearly? So I don't know what the fuck is going on. But she taught me a lot. She taught me how to communicate properly when it came to these type of things. And if it wasn't for her, I probably, you know, would be an Aziz Ansari. And the crappy thing is, not every woman's gonna be like that harsh bitch. Not every girl's gonna be open enough to say, hey, we need to talk about this openly and let's discuss like how we feel, what we like, what we dislike, how we want to communicate, when yes means yes and when no means no, and when I'm flirting and when I'm not flirting. Not all women are like that. And so I do believe it is up to somebody out there to educate us. Like, I think that this should be put into sexual education. And by the way, just to recap, in case anybody is so fucking stupid and dumb out there, yes always means yes, and no always means no when it comes to people that you absolutely don't know. But you know, sometimes when you're with your girlfriend and she goes, no, and the guy goes like, stop it. You know, there'll be like the flirting yes and the flirting no. It's not like I'm saying she said, no, I don't want it. And I'm like, bitch, you flirted. That it was more like, no, stop, go ahead and here, take it. But I want people to take this moment to have a conversation on my channel about this and to really ask how they feel about it without getting angry and cursing people out. Let's have a conversation. Let's converse about this because I'm confused as fuck. I actually don't know how to feel because I do believe that both sides have something very important to say. And the good and the positive that came out of this was that we are talking about this when it comes to like consensual sex and how you should feel about personal responsibility when you do these type of things. So let's talk about this, and I'll see y'all next time.